And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're going to talk about the most important thing in my life. The most important thing in my life, okay? And before you think that it's all this mushy thing in my family, my wife and kids and blah blah blah, or even semen retention, okay? It's none of those. But they are included in it, but it's none of those. What is the most important thing to me in my life? It is the first of the three fundamental things or pillars that is of the Men of High Value channel, or the Men of High Value movement, if you will. Those three pillars, we're going to talk about the first one today, and I'm going to go into it in depth, just to help you guys understand the most important aspect of the Men of High Value movement, and I don't talk about it a lot of times. So make sure you stay tuned until the very end, because you gotta understand this more than anything else. The three pillars are truth, freedom, and family. Today we're investigating truth. What is truth? What is not truth? Okay? And how does it work? And how can you become a man of truth? There is nothing more important to me in this world, and there should be nothing more important to you in this world than truth. It is the ultimate. It's the ultimate thing to strive for in this life and beyond. Okay? And all of us have some sort of yearning within us, seeking for truth. Fantastic, okay? Some people have a more intense search towards it than others. Those are the ones that are going to be rewarded. They're rewarded here, and they're rewarded beyond. But they will be rewarded handsomely. And is it a competition? Who gets the most truth? In many ways, yes. Okay? I speak about masculinity and femininity on this channel a lot. Okay? Masculinity is what we strive for. It's our purpose. Well, guess what? Masculinity is competition. There is a competition to move towards truth. Who moves toward truth the fastest? But it's not about holding people back from the truth. It's a very interesting way, the way that truth works is the more you share the truth, the more you elevate people towards getting the truth, the more truth you get in your life. Just like money, the more you actually invest in other people, or in teams, or in projects, or in potential things that can actually revolutionize humankind, the more money you make, okay? This is the same thing with truth, same thing with friends, same thing with happiness, same thing with everything. You get more of what you plant. So what is truth? First of all, let's just understand what success is in terms of truth. Ultimate success is getting the truth. I still haven't defined it yet for you, but I will. But ultimate success is finding, getting the truth, and keeping the truth, okay? And keep exploring what the truth is. He that has truth is the richest man on planet Earth. He that has truth is the richest man on planet Earth. You cannot compare truth with money. Because with the truth, you can get any of the money in the world that you want, okay? With truth, you get ultimate joy, bliss, and happiness. With truth, you're given everything that your heart desires, and you get to keep it if you've got the truth. That's why it's more important than money, it's more important than family, it's more important than friends, it's more important than anything else, including freedom. Truth is number one. Okay, now that I've edified the truth a lot, let's explore what it is. Well, let's just mention one thing about success first, though. I wrote some things down. There are a few certain things we know about success. Success is a series of good decisions. Okay? And you've heard me say before, and this is Tony Robbins' quote, success comes from good judgment. Good judgment comes from experience. And experience comes from bad judgment. Okay? Now let's use this as a framework for truth. Because in the beginning, we're ignorant about the truth, right? So we make bad decisions, obviously, because we didn't know. But then we begin to get experience from the bad decisions that we do, which gives us pain, which causes us then to get experience, okay? Now, no one wants experience, but we all need it. Why? Because without experience, you can't have good judgment. It's going to be impossible for you to have good judgment independent of someone else. Now, if you're following someone who has good judgment, okay, good on you. But eventually, at some point in time, you have to lead yourself. 5 phases of leadership: allow yourself to be led. Hopefully, the guy that's leading you knows what he's doing, knows how to apply the correct principles in his life and in yours, right? But at some point, you've got to lead yourself, which is the second phase of leadership. And then lead others, and then lead women, and then lead kids. But first of all, you first have to fail. It's okay to fail. You're going to get experience, then you get good judgment. And that good judgment means that you've got some of the truth. The more truth you get, the more good judgment you have in your life. That's going to give you success. So, do you see how truth is more important than success or abundance? Because it is the precursor. It is the thing that comes before success and the thing that comes before abundance. If you don't have the truth, you might get success temporarily, but you'll always fall back down on your personal development, of how much you've personally developed, or i.e., aka, how much truth you have gotten and then kept, okay, and used in your life. Do you see how important this is? Like, this is the foundation of your entire life that I'm explaining to you guys here. And I hope that you watch this video again and again and again and again. What is truth? I'll give you the definition. The definition of truth, and some of you guys have heard it before, is that which works. In the long run, and in the big scheme of things. I haven't found a better way to say it. That is the best definition of truth I've ever heard anywhere. You can try it. It's a principle. It's that which works. Now, are there some things that work temporarily? Okay, well, if you look at the evolution of things, in the beginning, we're all ignorant. In the beginning, we know nothing. Okay, and we kill each other, and we don't know how to survive, and we don't know how to deliver babies, and we don't know how to work, we don't know how to build houses, we don't know how to do anything. Okay, but then slowly but surely we're evolving towards what? Towards the truth. Have we arrived? No, not at all. You can see that all around. But the point is that we're moving towards it. Every single second, minute, hour of the day. Entire species of humans. We're moving towards truth. We're evolving towards that which works in every single area of life. And the more we move towards truth, the better society becomes. Just like heaven is not a destination, it is an environment that you create by having the truth and then applying it. Remember the definition, that which works in the long run in the big scheme of things. If something doesn't work, it's not true. Okay? So the question is, how far in your life have you gotten when it comes to truth? Is your life functioning? Does it work? Because how do you know if your life is working or not? Are you fired up outside your brain all of the time, okay? And you know that you're going to continuously get more and more and more fired up continuously for the rest of your life? Okay, that's truth. That's you having the truth and then applying the truth. If your life is depressing, if you don't know what to do with yourself, if you're struggling and you're miserable and the people around you are having a hard time with you and you're having a hard time with other people, you can know for a fact that you do not have the truth, or you have it but you're not applying it at all, which means that you don't have it. Okay? Knowledge applied is not really knowledge. Wait, hold on. Knowledge not applied is not really knowledge. Knowledge not applied is not knowledge. If you know something but you don't do it, you don't know. Okay? So, the truth, once we get there, once we arrive, all of us, and I'm not saying I have all of the truth, okay? Because it's a progression. Obviously things in my life aren't working too, right? But the more you move towards masculinity, or in other words, the more you move towards truth, the more masculine you become. But very interestingly, the more masculine you become, the more you begin to actually experience the truth in your life. That which works. As a man, being masculine is that which works. It works. If you're a man, okay, you were born a boy, and you keep moving towards masculinity in your life, you will notice that things begin to just simply line up. People begin to become attracted to you. Now you're suddenly becoming a leader all of a sudden. What happened? You became masculine. You began to apply the truth of leadership, right? And that has helped you to move towards it. At one point in time, all of us will arrive towards ultimate truth. And truth will then no longer be fragmented things here and there. It will be gathered into one whole. Okay? One big ball of truth, if you will. Okay? That's going to be amazing. That's heaven. When you and everyone around you that you surround yourself with are living according to truth, which causes you guys to be fired up outside your brain on a continual basis. What does that mean? It means that you guys, you and your peers, are all applying the truth in your lives. Well, what happens when you do that? You're all working, you can all trust each other, and you know that there's consistency there. I'm going to go in deeper on all those things, but understand that it's one whole that we're moving towards. A big ball that is united, a truth. There is no division if something is true. It unifies everyone. Because everyone will come to a unity of the truth, right? They have to. There is no other way. It's either light or darkness. We've been in darkness, which is ignorance, and now we're moving towards the light. Truth. Ultimate truth. When you basically are like, whoa, I got it. I want you to figure it out, okay? And I'm helping you guys with this channel. Truth is complete, okay? It is not unfinished. If you've got the truth, you're complete. Now, that applies again what I said earlier about having the truth, but then not applying it, you don't really have the truth. But if you've got the truth and are applying it, you're complete. okay? And once you have the truth, what is really truth? Truth is confidence, okay? It's knowing something, and it's knowing that everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work because you've got the truth and you just need to apply it. So it gives you confidence, and once you know that the thing that you are doing actually is working, it gives you power. What is power? It's the definition of power is the ability to do. Okay? So if something works, that means that you have the ability to do in your life. Does this all make sense? Okay? You've got the truth, and if you know the truth and you apply it, then it works. And that means that you've got the ability to do. Correct? Okay. What is it that women are attracted to? Power. The ability to do. Confidence. Okay? Other people call it dominance. But you understand what dominance really is in these terms. It's understanding what you're doing to the nth degree and making it happen. Okay? This is quite interesting, guys. This is a strong foundation. Why is truth such a strong foundation? Because it sets you up for everything that you desire in your life. Once you figure out that which works in your field, in your niche, in your sports, in your hobbies, in your whatever it is in life that you want to do, if you apply the truth, the basics, the fundamentals in each of those things, and you repeat them again and 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 again, you will master the skills in that endeavor, in that field, in that niche, in that sport, in whatever it is, because you've done it 10,000 times. You've done it hundreds of thousands of times. You've done it 1,000,000 times. When you've done something 1,000,000 times, you know what you're doing. You've got the truth in that area. Does that make sense? So I'm not just talking about the truth in terms of like abstract terms of the truth about life. I'm talking about owning the truth in the niche or field or endeavor that you desire to have the truth in. Those skills will serve you for life. If it is a system or a service or a product or something that people desire that helps them have things work in their lives. Does that make sense? Okay, so everyone is trying to improve themselves throughout, the planet. Everyone wants progression. Everyone wants to be happy. Okay, so when you serve others with the truth, right? You know how to do it. You know how to give them more of what they want so that their lives can work. Then their lives begin to work more optimally. They're moving now towards the truth, and you help them get to that point. You help them take the next step in their lives, moving towards the truth. All of us need to be working together in terms of allowing others to progress. This is how the world is made up. The faster you help other people progress, the faster you progress. The more happy you make the world as a whole, not just your parents, not just your immediate family, okay? I want you to think huge. I want you to think big. Because if you're only thinking about your small, itty-bitty circle, you're not thinking big enough, man. You gotta think huge, massive. You wanna help millions of people. Because that means that millions of people are helping you to get to truth, to get to massive ultimate abundance, so that you can help more people. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful concept, okay? This is the foundation of everything. If you have this as your foundation, my purpose in life is to gather truth and then apply it. It's not enough for me to gather the truth. There's so many academics in this world, and it's ludicrous. I don't want academics. I want people who know the truth but then frickin' apply it. because they're the ones that actually have it. The people who have the truth but are not applying it, they're just yapping. They're just talking. And they're not progressing. Actually, they're going in the opposite direction. The more you know and the less you do, there's like an integrity aspect to it. It's like two different ladders, okay? And you climb one with your knowledge, your theory, right? And then you got to apply the other one with your practice, with actionable steps, okay? Because if you're only doing the theory, you can never climb the ladder. It doesn't work, okay? And the more discrepancy there is between your theory, how much you know, and how much you apply, the less integrity you've got. Which leads me to my next point. Integrity. What does that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything when it comes to truth. Because remember, we're talking about truth being one whole, okay? Unified whole. Meaning, it's integral. It has integrity. It has honesty. It's not divided. Does that make sense? So, we want to become like that. We want to become men of truth, meaning we've got to become men of integrity, which means we at some point in time have to be able to become one with ourselves. What does that mean? It means that we actually know something and we apply it. Now, this is extremely difficult if you're feminine. Because when you're feminine, you know something, and then you're like, I'm gonna do this. You're just yapping. Because you feel, remember, you're going into your feelings now, when you want to do something, like say, for example, you watch one of my videos and you're just like, bro, I want to work 120 hours a week now, okay? You know what happens? You might not work 120 hours. Okay, and I never say work 120 hours, I always say 80 hours, but I'm just using it as an example. You might get fired up outside your brain, okay, to do something, and maybe you took too much, you know, over yourself. Maybe you're just like, you can't apply what you felt like applying. You know, sometimes your emotions are so intense that you believe that you can do anything, okay, after having listened to some of these videos, but then you get into real life again and you're just like, oh my gosh, I struggle and I'm having such a hard time, etc., etc. And then you don't do it, what you thought you were going to do. What does that mean? Well, it means you've kind of lost some of your integrity for a while. Because you got a discrepancy between your masculine knowledge and your femininity. Your femininity is unable to apply the masculinity. You want to practice SR. And your femininity is like, I want to practice SR. And you're just like, I feel other emotions. And then you move towards your emotions instead. Oh, fantastic. I need my battery. So, editor, you'll have to take this out and do some push-ups. Interesting. This is the foundation. This is the foundation of the Men of High Value movement. It's a bit different video. I don't speak with as much intensity as I usually do, but you guys will hear nuggets throughout this entire thing. Okay, so another thing. If you are not a man of integrity yet, which none of us are, right? None of us are completely 100% integral. Because we know some things that we're not applying yet. Correct? Same with me, right? However, if you're progressing towards the truth, you can have peace inside. Does that make sense? If you know that I'm gathering more truth, and slowly but surely, okay, steadily and surely, slowly, there's nothing good about slow other than if it's steady, okay? If it's easy to do, fantastic, but slow, like what's you know, it's better slow than none at all, but you guys get my drift. As long as you're steadily moving towards truth, okay, you're ahead of the pack. And you're actually progressing, and you can have peace inside that eventually I'm going to arrive. Okay? You'll never arrive, but at least you know that you're moving towards it. Does that make sense? Another aspect. Okay, let's I really like this aspect. Okay, there's one principle in Think and Grow Rich. I love that principle, where he says that successful people decide quickly and change their decisions slowly. Femininity does the opposite. Femininity takes a long time to make a decision, and once they've made a decision, they change it. Okay? And they change it, and then they take a long time to make another decision, and then they change it again. And because of this, this is what most people do in terms of choosing their careers, or choosing what they're going to do in life, or choosing this, or choosing that, or whatever, choosing women, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Successful people decide quickly what they want, and then they change slowly. Yeah, but what if I don't know for sure what I want? It doesn't matter. Decide quickly, and then stick to it for a long enough period of time, okay, until you find out that this is not for me. Now, you can't do that with women, obviously, for the reasons that I say on this channel. Never ever dispense of women. But when there are exceptions to that rule, DM me if you need answers to that question. But do you see the aspect of what I'm trying to say here is that you want to make decisions quickly. Why? Because if you're in limbo, you're in darkness. You're not progressing. If you make a decision, you can move. It works. Okay? Being in limbo never works. It means that you're like, yes, no, I'm going back and forth. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. Everyone else is like, boom, 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 moving forward. And you're just like, no, what am I gonna do? Decide. Decide on one thing and then stick to it. And then see how it feels. See how it is. See how it's working out for you. This is what you need to do if you're gonna be a man of truth, a man of integrity. Because you cannot be divided against yourself if you're going to be a man of truth. Integrity. If you are not choosing what you need to do and making a decision and then sticking to it, you're in limbo. You're indecisive. Not progressing. You're damned. Okay? Struggling to get anywhere. It's the same thing with SR. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Oh, I guess I can relapse one more time, blah, blah, blah. Oh man, I relapsed again. Oh, next day I'm going to do better. Oh, I'm doing it again. That's limbo. You're not decisive. You need to choose. This is why priorities is so important. Because when you prioritize, you focus on the correct things at the right time so that you can actually get over yourself in that specific next step that you've got. You've got a next step, get rid of it, like fix it. You know, it's like a problem. I've told you guys this before with problem stacking and problem solving. When you're a problem stacker, you have a problem, meaning an indecision going on, right? It's a problem that needs to be solved and you're being indecisive, or you're just not tackling it, or you're just neglecting it or ignoring it or whatever it is that you're doing. And then comes another problem. And then you get indecision again, and you don't know what to do, and you're not figuring out the truth. You're not figuring out that which works in terms of solving these problems. So you get another problem, and then another problem, and another problem, and another problem. which is horrible. You now become massively burdened and you can't do anything about it. You don't know where to start anymore. You're still indecisive about it, right? Fortunately, with this channel, you're beginning to get it right. You're beginning to understand that, okay, I love problems. I want problems because, why? Because you want the truth, man. You want to move towards the truth as fast as possible. How do you get the truth? By solving problems. You don't know what the truth is unless you've got a problem that you're solving. Like, you can't develop power if you have nothing that fights against you. This is why you should love your problems. All of them. If you have any problems or issues, right, what doesn't kill you just makes you stronger. I believe in that. Even if it kills you, it makes you stronger long term in the long picture of things, okay? But most probably it won't kill you. There's very few things that kill you, actually. Well, there's quite a lot of things, but the time you begin to apply the truth in your life, there's very few things that actually kill you. So which makes the future of humanity very interesting. Will we be able to live forever? I think so. Why? Because that's what works, okay? Like, dying shouldn't be a part of the program. It's a part of the program, but we should be able to figure out that which works, because how else would you heal? If you cut yourself, how do you heal? How does that happen? Have you thought of that? How does your body regenerate? That's insane. Okay, so if that works, then there must be some way, shape or form that we can regenerate our bodies and life. Okay, we'll figure it out. Anyway, topic for another day. I love the aspect of decide quickly, change slowly. Just remember that in your daily life, make a decision, stick to it. Stick to it. Stick to it. Because that's masculinity. All right. Other aspect is being focused. Okay, we talked about truth. It's unified, right? Okay. It's like a sports team. If all the 11 players on the soccer team, football team, whatever you want to call it, are going in the opposite directions and they're not collaborating at all. Let's say they had a fight with the coach in the locker room before the game, and then they're just like all angry with each other and they just don't want to pass to each other and they want to do everything themselves and they're just all going in different opposite directions. They're not unified. How does that work very well in the game? Okay? It's the team that's most unified that wins championships, that wins the league, that wins everything. The most unified players, because they've got each other's back. Okay? Once you're unified as a group, there's nothing that can stop you. And the bigger group you've got, the more powerful it becomes. If you are unified. Right? How did Gandhi manage to bring 200 million Indians to fight against the British Empire and get killed and do it non-violently? Only Gandhi could do that, right? Because he understood, in many ways, a lot of the truth. He had a lot of it, and he practiced it, and he wasn't one of the most amazing leaders that the world has ever seen. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Unity, okay? This brings us back to you being a man of focus. If you're a man of truth, you're a man of focus. You do not diversify. What does diversification mean in your life? Well, if you sleep around with a bunch of women, okay, and you dispense of them, it's different if you commit to 3 and you stick to them forever and you know how to retain them. And you learn that information from this channel, okay? If you understand how that works, then okay, fine. But if you're just sleeping around with women and you don't really care, or you think that they're able to choose to get over you, okay, and all that crap, bro, like, you're diversified, okay? Like, that's just one of the ways that you can be diversified, but it's a massive way. men who ejaculate and who are constantly chasing women are massively diversified. Okay, like people think that they can move towards ultimate success once they're chasing women. You can't. You're divided against yourself, man. You don't have a purpose. Once you begin to understand what it means to actually have a purpose in your life, women are magically attracted to you and they follow you around. Almost too much. Okay? You don't need to chase women. In fact, it doesn't work. It's not true. You get it? If you're focused on what you're supposed to be doing, if you're focused on truth, women flock in your direction. Because they want what you've got. Okay? Focus in terms of projects. If you're a serial entrepreneur who gets bored after 6 months and I need to start something else, or I need to sell a different product, or I need to do a different service, or I need to do this, that, and the other, and you quit on everything, oh my gosh! Like you're not focused, that's diversification. And diversification is diversification. Don't do it. Focus one thing at a time, step by step. Okay? Now, some things require something else in order for you to get over it. Like SR, for example, you need the 80-hour work week in order for you to get over SR. Okay? Is that diversification? Shouldn't you be focused on one thing, meaning you focus on SR? No, if you want to focus on SR, you focus on one thing, and that's 80-hour work week. Okay? That's how you're going to overcome SR. Just using that as another example. Being focused means that you are moving towards truth. Actually, if you're looking at the direction of truth, for example, let's just say that it's an object over there. Okay? You're looking at it. That's the truth. Guess what? What happens when you look away from that object? Well, you're not focused on it anymore. You're looking at something else. Right? That's diversification. You got to get rid of diversification in order for you to target in on the truth, figuring out that which works. That's it. That's what life is about. If you can figure out that which works in every single category and area of your life, you will get fired up outside your brain. Because it'll work. And when your life works, it works. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we need is we need something that works. We need something that's consistent, and consistency is integrity, by the way, right? Consistency is the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again. There's no, it's the same at home or at work. It's the same wherever it is. It's consistent. Do you understand what I mean? Integrity equals consistency. So, what is it? Something that works in the long run in the big scheme of things. It is consistent, meaning that when it shows up to work, the truth, okay, the truth is that which works. So when it shows up, when the truth shows up, it consistently works, right? And it stands the test of time. That's the last aspect. In the long run, in the big scheme of things, it is a principle that is evergreen. It's not going to go anywhere. It's the same now. It's the same it has been 2,000 years ago, and it's going to be the same 2,000 years from now. That's truth. That's a principle. That's leadership. Okay? Leadership is truth. Because when you apply leadership, you can it works, okay? If you actually figure out how to become a leader, you'll discover that being a leader works. And it works consistently over a long period of time. So that's why it's crucial that you learn the game of leadership, or else you're not moving towards truth. This is one of the reasons why, like when people say that, oh, if you're happy being a janitor and you have respectful work for the rest of your life, yeah. Good on you, man. You're doing something right, and you should not be, people shouldn't be complaining about you. I'm not complaining about a janitor. I'm not complaining about anyone. I'm just giving you guys an example that staying Okay, being a janitor is not a problem, but staying a janitor for the rest of your life doesn't work. It's not truth. Because it doesn't involve progressing. Because you're not becoming a leader if you're just, unless you're, you've started a janitor business, right? And you've got 1,000 janitors that you're serving, but you're then no longer a janitor, you're a CEO. Does that make sense? Again, just applying it. I'm going to transfer truth now from the objective of truth. It's not relative, man. It's not relative. Truth is the truth. It is what it is. I'm transferring now truth over to you, a man of truth. How can you become a man of truth as fast as possible, but as steadily as possible, so you've got the foundation? You know you're never going to decline again, okay? You're not going to go towards lies and this, and fragmented lifestyle and being divided against yourself and having to choose between femininity and masculinity every single day. No more of that. How are you going to become a man of truth? Let's start with this simple sentence. Show up consistently for a long period of time. I'm going to add one more thing. Show up with a great attitude consistently for a long period of time. And if you do that, you're going to get whatever it is that you desire. If I simply show up consistently with a great attitude for a long period of time, I'm going to get what it is that I desire. It is a principle. Okay? And truth doesn't deviate from the path. If you know the truth and you apply the truth, the results are exactly the same every single time. This is why you can know for a fact that you're going to become successful. It's true. As long as you never ever give up on that belief. Right? If you simply make it your purpose to move towards truth, then you will become 100% guaranteed successful. It's impossible not to become it. What does that do to you knowing that? It gives you confidence. Well, at least I know. I have an expectation now that I'm going to become successful. This is an affirmation in and of itself. This is you telling yourself that I'm already successful. Because the truth is that I am already successful if I simply show up consistently with a great attitude for a long period of time. Well, guess what? In the beginning, you're going to show up every other day. Fantastic. Failure. You're failing forward now, just like we've done as a species ever since the beginning of time. Okay? Before they didn't show up, right? Maybe. That's the point. You're showing up. But sometimes you falter and you struggle, but then eventually you show up. And then eventually, now that you've shown up, and you're doing that for a few days, now you can work on your attitude. Eventually you'll have a great attitude while you're showing up, and then now it's just about doing that for a long period of time. And you're gonna get exactly what it is that you desire. If you focus on the 80-hour work week, working for other people, okay, in a job, which stands for just over broke, if you remember, then we need to have an exit strategy. Because staying in that job means that you're a follower for the rest of your life, and that's not good. That's not good if you know what the truth is. The truth includes leadership, includes entrepreneurship, includes actually solving people's problems on a grand scale. That's duplicatable. It means that if you can do it, anyone else can do it. If Jeff Bezos can come up with an amazing solution as he's had, you can come up with your own frickin' Amazon. Why not? It doesn't have to be Amazon. It could be whatever problem you want to solve. Okay? So, how do we apply this? Show up consistently for a long period of time. The 80-hour work week, of course. The most important thing to develop as a man of truth, a man of integrity, a man of high value, a man who's masculine, is to develop a massive work ethic. Why? Because that is that which works. If you don't work the massive majority of time when you're awake, okay, you're not a man of truth. You are like salt that has lost its savor and can be tossed out and trodden underfoot. Right? Worthless. Useless. If you can't work, and guess what? As long as you're alive, there's something you can do for humanity. As long as you're alive, there's something you can do for humanity. Your legs can be cut off, your arms can be cut off, you can still make a freaking difference. Okay? But most of you are not in that situation. You can get off your ass and do something for the world. 80-hour work week, and I'm freaking serious about it. Okay? You want truth. I want the truth and nothing but the truth. Okay. Work ethic. That's number one. 80-hour work week. Okay? And you're going to be consistent at it. It's not something you do for 1 week. Oh man, that's too hard, man. That's horrible. No, it's something you do for 3 months to start with. Okay? Your first month is going to be absolutely horrific. And then 6 months, and then 12 months, and then 18 months, and then it's become a lifestyle, and it is who you are. Remember, truth. I mentioned earlier in the video that truth is not relative. It's not. It's not my truth or your truth or whoever's truth. Truth is truth. Either it works consistently for a long period of time, like in the long, big scheme of things, right? Either it works or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, we've got to find a better way until we know what the truth is. Okay? And if you are not applying the 80-hour work week, you're not working. You're not moving towards truth. You're not being integral. You're not being complete. Okay? It starts there. What else? Oh, consistency. Who are you when no one's looking? Who are you and what are you doing when no one is looking? I want you to always remember that phrase because you want integrity, because you want truth. And if you want that, you got to be the same person in private and in public. The same person. You see, if you cannot be the same person, you're going to be divided against yourself, and that's going to make you miserable. Why? Because you're in limbo and you're not progressing. Okay? And you're going to get yourself into trouble because your life is a lie. So you've got to make a decision. Who are you going to be? Are you going to be a man of truth? Well, let's figure out what the man of truth is. Let's figure out what the truth is and begin to apply it in our lives. Well, a massive work ethic is true, okay? I can do that. But also, do you have a massive work ethic and then there's other things about your life that's not correct, right? You get my drift? I just need to say that sentence. Who are you and what are you doing when no one's watching you, okay? When no one's looking. Because that's who you truly are. Just like the truth, it is what it is. That's what I was going to say. Truth is what it is. At some point in time, you want to get to the point where you are who you are. I am that I am, right? Truth is. It doesn't care what other people think, right? They can believe this, they can believe that, they can believe whatever they wanted it, but truth is just truth. It just stands there and doesn't care. At all. Immovable. It's the truth is the truth is the truth. You can't do anything about it. Same thing with you. At one point in the future, you're going to be a man of truth that is immovable. No one can push you over. It's impossible because you're immovable. You know. And you're applying it. And because you're applying it, you know the result that you've gotten, which gives you a strong foundation, gives you confidence, it gives you power. I love this stuff. I love this stuff, man. Hope you guys are enjoying this too. Okay. Is time your enemy or your friend? Is time your enemy or your friend? Why? Because time, right, in the long run, in the big scheme of things, time will either expose you or promote you. What did I say about truth? The truth is that which works in the long run and in the big scheme of things. Meaning, the more time passes, the more the truth is promoted, right? Like, I mean, it's also exposed, right? Because we can see what the truth is over time. But do you understand what I mean? Like, when truth strips, it's still the truth. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't change. Okay, but with us, does time promote you or expose you? Because if you're living a lie, so to speak, according to what I've been teaching today, then you will be exposed eventually from your competition. The fact that your life sucks is you exposing that you don't know anything, that you know squat about the truth. Because if your life's not working, you don't know what the truth is. Does that make sense? Doesn't mean that some people that have could it be that some people have the truth, but just life happens to them? And they're just unlucky? No, it doesn't work like that. It actually doesn't. The more you understand how truth works, the more you begin to attract the correct things into your life. Because the universe desires you who is working, who is consistent, and who wants to stand the test of time. We gotta give this guy more power. We gotta give him more luck, because he's actually trying to help millions of people. Suddenly, not only people around you begin to help you, but the universe, man. It comes in and suddenly you get lucky. The more you practice, the luckier you get. The more you practice the truth, the luckier you get. Right? Practice makes permanent. And you want to be permanently a man of truth. Can I beat this to death? Like, am I beating this to death? I hope I'm not, because like, there's so many different nuances to this that I kind of want to share with you guys, but I can't do that in one video anyway. But the question is time your friend or your enemy? Because if you're actually applying the 80-hour work week, time is your friend. If you're not applying the 80-hour work week, and you're just going at home unemployed, receiving a check from the government, you know what happens? Time is going to expose you. Time is going to actually destroy you. It does to everyone that doesn't want to work. It does to everyone that doesn't want to apply the truth. Why? Because we're all progressing. We're all moving, and some are moving faster than others, which means that some people will be left behind. I hope that's not you. Okay? Because if you are left behind, you will be exposed. As simple as that. In what way will you be exposed? You will know personally. It might not even be anyone that has anything against you. It just might be you knowing that, I didn't amount to what I had the capabilities of becoming. My potential didn't become realized because I chose to stay in limbo, right? I chose to be indecisive about what I wanted in my life. And because you stayed indecisive and you didn't take the steps necessary towards success, towards truth, time exposed you. Okay? You want time to be your friend, meaning if you're applying the correct principles, if you're applying the truth, the things that you know for a fact is correct and that work, and you do them consistently with a great attitude over a long period of time, you're going to get fired up outside your brain because time will promote you. You're going to get the exponential growth curve. Okay? The elusive exponential growth curve that every single person that applies themselves consistently over a long period of time gets every single time. I want you to think about your 80 hours as your army, okay? Think about it. Grant Cardone talks about his money as being his slaves, meaning if you have, and slave is probably the wrong word, but you know what I'm saying. He basically says that if you've got $100,000, that's like an army. And if they're stuck in your bank account not doing anything, what's up with that? Like they're not being, you know, these are my words now, but they're not being truthful. Those dollars are not being put to work. This is why it's important that you invest, right? Because if you're not putting them to work, then you're not. Make sense? It's the exact same thing with your hours. You got to put your hours to work. And this is where it gets interesting. If you actually focus on doing a good job every single hour of the day, okay, give everything you've got to everything you do. If you do that, that 1 hour is just an event, right? But then you've gone throughout the entire day, suddenly it was 11 and a half hours. Whew, wow, that was intense. Guess what? You're gonna do it again tomorrow. Okay, 11 and a half hours. Whew, okay, we're gonna do it again tomorrow. 11 and a half hours. 34 and a half hours, man. Amazing. At the end of the week, let's say you get to 80 hours. Fantastic. That's not just an event anymore. It's becoming who you are. But not only that, but it's becoming a collection of events. Now, what happens over time? Well, it gets to 100 hours, 1,000 hours, 5,000 hours, 10,000 hours. Those 10,000 hours, you understand that they're an army that are completely and utterly focused on you becoming successful. That's huge. All the money that you've got and all the time that you've got, put those babies together, okay? And you apply them towards, I want the truth. Give me the truth, I will apply it, and I'll invest everything that I am into the truth. Both my time and my money. Because I know that as I apply the truth in my life, I'll get more time and more money that I can now invest again. And you get it back and you invest it again. It's a completely new paradigm shift. For those of you guys who don't understand how I think, welcome to the Men of High Value channel. This is how you're gonna get a pep in your step. Okay, now listen to this last part. This is crucial. There's so many men out there, so many boys out there that do not have a purpose. What is the meaning of life? What is my purpose? They don't know, okay? So they basically walk around doing nothing with their lives, okay? I've given you a purpose today. That purpose is to move towards truth, okay? Steadily and surely. And if you can speed up the process by following this channel, subscribing and liking this video, spreading it, okay? And participating in this movement of truth, freedom, and family, okay? If you do that, amazing things are going to happen to you, okay? Truth becomes your purpose. That's what I want. More than anything else in life, I want the truth. Give me the truth. Nothing but the truth, okay? The truth will set you free. That's one. Second principle, freedom. Wow. They're combined? Are you serious? Yeah. Okay, so truth is your purpose, and freedom, of course, because it's pretty much the same thing. And masculinity becomes your purpose, because masculinity in a man's life works. It's truth. Okay? So if you know that, you've got a purpose. Let me leave you with this. Once you become a man of truth, you become the purpose. I'm going to say that again. If you become, and you're becoming, a man of truth, you are the purpose. Okay? So a lot of people will say that, well, you know, people are selfish, and like it sounds selfish to say that you are the purpose. Okay, but let me just explain briefly what I mean. The truth is the purpose, and you become one with the truth. Then you have become the purpose. For who? Well, for you. That's great. Okay, it's awesome how the universe has made it in such a way that if you selfishly serve others, if you selfishly make everyone around you fired up outside their brains and happy, then you actually get happiness and get fired up yourself. Okay, the universe is amazing like that. The cool aspect of it is once you have become a man of truth, other people make you their purpose temporarily until they become a man of truth. Does that make sense? So I'm not talking about like worshiping, or I'm not talking about like, making, do you understand what I mean? I'm just saying that they'll have someone to look up to. Someone who's flesh and bones, who've done it themselves, who became men of truth on their own by receiving light and truth, by receiving knowledge, applying it, became a man of truth, a man of integrity, and other people are now, that's what I want. That's who I want to become like. You can become that person that other people want to become like. And that's what I want for you. That's what's going to give you ultimate joy, bliss, and happiness. That other people are following your footsteps and they thank you for the example that you provided. Can you find any other thing in life that's more worthy than that? And that actually gives you more joy and satisfaction? There is nothing else, okay? Or nothing else that's better, at least. Anyway, I hope it wasn't, too much information or rambling or whatever it was. Let's answer some questions if there are any. Thank you so much for watching, by the way. 1 hour. How does it become 1 hour? I don't know. Facts, 100. Awesome, man. I think about leaving big city life behind, lending my city apartment to someone, and instead live in my country house away from big city. City really brings a ton of anxiety to me. Success to me is achieving 100% inner peace and content with life. Yeah, there's, it's very interesting how some people, and I'm not necessarily talking about you, Colossus, but some people have a warped view of what inner peace and contentment in life means. And I'll give you a brief example. If you believe, like for example, no offense to Buddhist monks, okay? Just like a perfect example. Like they believe that, to avoid suffering, or at least this is from what I understand, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but to relieve themselves of suffering, they just want to relieve themselves of any needs, okay? How does that alleviate poverty all around the world? How does that help people move towards the truth? There's billions of people are trying to make their lives work. And there's a Buddhist monk who believes he's, has inner peace and is content with life, while other people are suffering. No man is an island all unto himself, okay? Which means that you cannot have true inner peace and contentment knowing that someone out there is suffering. Someone out there needs your help. Someone out there has issues and problems that you can help them with. Well, guess what? Charity starts at home, which means that if you are the ones who has a lot of suffering and pain and issues and anxiety, then yes, start with yourself. But at some point, you've got to move towards alleviating the suffering and pain of other people. You have to, or else you cannot stay in the inner peace and contentment. How can you be content? I'll tell you how. It's quite interesting how this works actually, because us men, we're very good at not caring. We're very good at just like, what does that have to do with me? Okay, let them fight their own battles. I'm over here enjoying my pina colada, whatever you want to enjoy, you know what I mean? Or live in the woods or whatever, using this example. You understand that you want women in your life eventually, right? Well, if you're going to have women in your life eventually, they cannot be content and have inner peace when they know other people are suffering out there. So if you are not putting in the work, the 80-hour work week as an example, to actually alleviate the pain and suffering of other people, they're going to give you pain and suffering at home. Is that going to create peace and joy and contentment in your life? I didn't think so. So I'm just kind of giving you an example, not trying to step on your, feet, whatever, your toes or anything, but just kind of wanted to explain the concept of peace and contentment. Peace and contentment comes from you being able to solve any problem, anywhere, at any time. That's what provides peace. Confidence provides peace. Power provides peace. Because whenever there's war, whenever there's anxiety, whenever there's issues, there you are. And you can solve it. Like that. Because you know how to. Because you got the truth. That makes sense. Why do you think repetitive addictive habits, SR, drugs, etc., tampers your vision about the truth? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure if I understand it correctly, but I'll do my best to answer it. You can't tamper my vision about the truth. I know what the truth is. At least the massive majority of it. But in terms of repetitive addictive habits, you're moving away from the truth because you're actually literally applying something to your life that is a lie, right? You're told, or your emotions are telling you that if you use this substance or if you masturbate to porn or whatever, it's going to give you happiness. That's the lie, right? If you just do this, just this one time, man, I'm going to give you happiness. Okay, so you just you drink or you masturbate, you do porn, whatever it is that you're doing, right? What's happening? Well, you might get a small spike of happiness, right? But because you were in your emotions, femininity, you believed that emotion for a split second was gonna last forever. You know rationally it's not gonna, right? The moment you ejaculate, for example, you're done. You're not happy anymore. You're tired and you're kind of, and you feel guilty sometimes. And it's it's just not what you wanted, right? So you're literally moving away from the truth. So every single time that you decide to move away from the truth instead of towards the truth, right, you're becoming less integral. And that's not going to put you in a happy position, which means that feeling or that thought that those addictive behaviors were going to give you happiness is a lie. So that's basically how it tampers with the vision of truth, if that makes sense. So what do you need to do? 80-hour work week. It is a solution to all of your problems, and it will continue to be so until you apply it. And then you'll notice that it solves all your problems. It really will. I promise. Give me one person that works 80 hours with an exit strategy, because there's tons of people that have worked 80 hours for 10 years and 20 years or whatever in their jobs, and then they're depressed because they're in their 40s and they're just like, oh, I didn't think that my life is going to be like this and I'm forced to work all the time. Blah. Voluntary. Okay? That's like the difference between an incel and volcel. Have you heard that? I'm going to end with this thought. Voluntary celibate versus involuntary celibate, okay? Are you a voluntary 80-hour work week dude? Or are you an involuntary 80-hour work week dude? Because those exist. And basically, the guys that are on the involuntary 80-hour work week guys, okay, those guys very often built themselves up with the lifestyle, got in massive debt with liabilities, got a wife in monogamy that absolutely hates his guts, wants to divorce him, or actually does divorce him. He loses everything. He's still hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt, or millions of dollars in debt. Or if he's not in debt, he has a certain lifestyle that causes him to have to, keep working those 80 hours in order to maintain the lifestyle that he has, but he's doing it involuntarily. Right? That's a problem. So you don't want to be the involuntary 80-hour work dude. You want to be the voluntary 80-hour work dude, because that's going to change your life. I'm going to end there. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'll see you guys in the next one.